our lead sponsor this morning, Meritus Health, and I want to invite Dr. Neil Roy at this time to bring greetings.
Hi there. On behalf of the Meritus Medical Center, thank you for having us. It's truly an honor to be here, as our EMS, police, and first responders are truly the people that make a difference in the community every single day. Especially in the midst of our recent opioid epidemic, our first responders, law enforcement, and EMS providers have saved countless lives that would have otherwise never even made it to the emergency department. They play a truly vital role in providing a safety net for our community that we are forever indebted to. It's an honor to work alongside many of you here every single day, and on behalf of Meritus, thank you for having us. We look forward to seeing you every single day, and thanks again.
All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Paul Fry, the president of the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, to please come up and bring greetings.
Thank you, Chris, and good morning. On behalf of the Chamber and the business community, we're thrilled you're all here for our first annual event. I would like to mention some of the folks who made this possible, and then we'll introduce some of our elected officials here. You know, we are very fortunate in this community to have support of the business community, and I want to acknowledge our sponsor for this morning. We've mentioned Meritus Health already. Thank you. We have Kaplan University, Antietam Cable, Hagerstown Magazine, Atlantic Emergency Services, Dot Foods, Keystone Public Safety, CDS Complete Document Solutions, Manning Media, Potomac Edison. Thank you for keeping the lights on here this morning, Jim and company. We have Staples Supply Chain, BJ's Custom Creations, the Columbia Bank, Dijage. They're a restaurant. And they're going to get certificates to our award winners this morning. Keller Stonebreaker Insurance and Life Saving Solutions. Give them a round of applause for their support this morning. It's now my pleasure to note the elected officials here this morning and representatives. From the commissioners, we have Commissioner President Terry Baker, Commissioner Vice President Jeff Klein, Commissioner John Barr, and Commissioner Wayne Kiefer. Let's give them a round of applause. Gentlemen, good morning. We also have with us this morning Sheriff Doug Mullendorf. Good morning, Sheriff. Representing U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen, we have Juliana Abowitz. Good morning, Juliana. Representing Congressman John Delaney, we have Sonny Holding. Good morning, Sonny. Representing our state senator, Andy Serafini, we have Liz Jones. Good morning, Liz. And we have Delegate Brett Wilson. Good morning, Delegate. Joseph Campbell, an American author, philosopher, and teacher, said, "A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself." What you will hear this morning, ladies and gentlemen, are really good examples of the types of heroes Joseph Campbell is describing. Men and women giving their lives to something bigger than themselves. Many recurring themes in the nomination submissions will be evident this morning. Themes like volunteering, giving back, serving others, making a difference, and helping others. All of the recipients possessed great humility. If asked, they would tell you that they were just doing my job. Or others are just as deserving, and I was only recognized because others were doing their job too. So it is indeed a great privilege to be part of this program, and we look forward to working together with our partners to recognize and celebrate with all of our public safety organizations in Washington County. So if you'll please help me welcome back Chris Motes, he'll get us started with the awards part of the program. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to get underway with our awards, and at this time I'm going to ask the following to come to the right of the stage. These individuals will be greeting the recipients as they come off the stage, and we'll take some photos at that time. So at this time I would like to ask Commissioner President Terry Baker, Chief Steve Lohr of the Hagerstown Fire Department, Washington County Sheriff Doug Mullendorf, Captain James Sprecher, President of the Washington County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association, Juliana Albowitz, representative of Senator Chris Van Hollen's office, Sonny Holding from Congressman Delaney's office, and Liz Jones from Senator Andrew Serafini's office. If they would please come up and get ready. Going to be a lot of handshaking, a lot of good smiles around the backdrop. We're excited this morning. At this time, I would like to thank everyone on the committee and the judges for their time and effort to help bring this event to fruition. The committee members are Chief Steve Lohr of the Hagerstown Fire Department, Lieutenant Rebecca Fetchu of the Hagerstown Police Department, Captain Mark Knight of the Washington County Sheriff's Department, Dale Hill of the Washington County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association, and Dave Hayes, Director of the Washington County Department of Emergency Services. We can give our round of applause to the committee members. There are 7 categories of awards. 6 of those awards are being presented this morning. The 7th of which, the Medal of Valor Award for a single group or incident, was fortunately for us not achieved in 2016. That honor is presented to any individuals who exhibited exceptional courage, attended by extraordinary decision, presence of mind, and swiftness of action, regardless of their own personal safety, in an effort to save or in the saving of the life of any person or persons in imminent danger. We hope to never have a situation where we would warrant presenting this award. The nominations were broken down into different categories, and those categories were Fire and Rescue, Fire, EMS, and DES, Law Enforcement, Corrections, Public Health, ER, Health Department, Urgent Care, and Telecommunications. The nominations were judged by business leaders in Washington County. In your program, you're reading the actual submissions for nominations that were presented to our judges. To help them with any questions, there were 3 advisors. The advisors had no vote and could only answer questions relevant to the nominations. The judges included the following: Justin Anderson from CNB Bank, Amanda Gregg from Access National Mortgage, Frank Morrissey, retired from Volvo, Jim Sears from Potomac Edison. Our advisors were Chief Lohr, Lieutenant Fetchu, and Assistant DES Director Charlie Summers. Let's give a round of applause for our committee, our judges, and our advisors. All right, let's get on with the awards. Our first honoree, found on page 1 of your program, is Children's Village of Washington County for the Community Achievement Award. Truly a crossroads of safety, the education campus at Children's Village of Washington County opened their doors in 1990. Since then, they've successfully educated and trained an entire generation alongside numerous partnerships. Just over 55,000 second graders with important life skills to both prevent an emergency and, when necessary, respond to life-threatening emergencies that make a difference when minutes count between life and death. 27 young heroes are recognized in the Children's Village of Washington County Hall of Fame. Each of these incidents and their respective participants resulted in lives saved that otherwise may have been a regrettable statistic and tragic loss for our community. Children's Village represents the best of what Washington County has to offer. Public-private partnerships that bring every element together to not only provide valuable life skills to our young people, but provide an example of how cooperation, collaboration, and hard work can result in something very spectacular that is designed to withstand the test of time by improving outcomes in emergencies that are sure to come. Celebrating its 27th year of service to the community, Children's Village partners with the Washington County Public Schools, law enforcement, fire and rescue departments, business owners, civic organizations, and the various local governments located throughout our county, who collectively have ensured this campus as a model for other communities. Without question, none of the achievements would have been reached without visionary leadership and cooperation at all levels of government. Trained instructors provide comprehensive safety information for all second grade students, which was the age group best equipped to receive the 2-day curriculum. The curriculum provides a cross-section of trained instructors to all public, private, religious, and homeschooled populations in Washington County. Results are constantly measured, and both a pre- and post-test that has measured an overall improvement average of 20%. Receiving the award this morning are Fund Development Director from Children's Village of Washington County, Linda Irvin Craig, and Program Administrative Specialist, Brenda Conrad.
We didn't give directions, lady. If you'll come up this way, you're the models for the rest of the group. No one else has an excuse now. Come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Say something?
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. I couldn't pass the opportunity to thank the group of people in this room. Many of you were a part of and continue to be a part of what we do at Children's Village. And just for a real quick moment, I'd like to point out we have a couple of board members, Nick Hill and Steve Mitchell, who are here today, and Dr. Boyd Michael, who's also been a tremendous supporter. We thank you again, and we look forward to continued service to the community.
And you'll just hand the next award while we're there. Our next award is the Unit Achievement Award, and Meritus Health is a recipient this year. From July 1st, 2015 to June 30th, 2016, 343 patients were treated at Meritus Medical Center for opiate, heroin, and other narcotic overdoses. The health system has implemented a number of initiatives along with all stages of addiction issue in response to the current epidemic that is dramatically affecting our community. New protocols have been implemented in the ED, providing significant reductions in prescribing opioids. Since May 2016, ED physicians and providers have been prescribing naloxone to opiate overdose patients upon discharge, averaging 15 scripts a month to help prevent fatal overdoses. Meritus Behavioral Health Services introduced an inpatient intervention team for provider consults, evaluations, communication with ambulance staff, and ongoing management of patients from admission to discharge. They also developed a policy of inpatient management of opioid withdrawal for high-risk patients. The staff works in partnership with community resources for continued case management, medication monitoring, and compliance and placement in available outpatient programs. Continuing education is provided on safe opioid prescribing addiction and pain management. Policies have been developed or updated to clarify controlled substance prescribing protocol for both hospital staff and outpatient care providers in the Meritus Medical Group. The epidemic is also directly affecting women and children's services, both pregnant mothers and newborns. This department is participating in a statewide collaborative with other hospitals to share and learn best practices for neonatal abstinence syndrome patients. A social worker has been added to the team to help with prenatal care decisions, including clinical referrals and addiction management. As opioids and heroin continue to destroy the welfare of our region's citizens, multiple departments of Meritus Health are working in unison to offer new resources to battle the epidemic. Please help me welcome up again Dr. Neil Roy to receive this award.
Good to see everyone again. I'd like to thank you guys all on behalf of the Meritus Medical Center, and we hope to continue the hard work that our first responders provide every single day, and hope to be a valuable member of our community and continue to do so for many years to come. Thank you all again.
Our next award is the Unit Achievement Award. The Washington County Emergency Communications Center for the incident on August 25th, 2016 during the day shift. On Thursday, August 25th, 2016, the Emergency Communications Center was staffed with 10 employees: shift supervisor Tina Bowers, call takers William King, Joe Arch, Mason White, police dispatchers Shelby Powers Hall, Beth Carpegna, Angela Latini, Andrew Grosh, fire dispatchers Keith Bowen and Marshall Maravellis. At 8:49 a.m., the Emergency Communications Center began receiving multiple 911 calls reporting a loud explosion and fire in the 14,000 block of Hollow Road. Quickly after receiving calls, the fire dispatchers dispatched multiple fire and EMS companies to respond to the reported house explosion. At 8:57 a.m., the first person, a policeman, arrived on the scene reporting a house fully involved. Supervisory staff realized almost immediately that 2 fire dispatchers would not be able to handle the overwhelming amount of radio traffic which would be associated with this type of incident. The remainder of the Emergency Communications Center's day shift staff, along with administrative staff, assisted with increased call taking and supervisory responsibilities. The teamwork of the Emergency Communications Center's day shift staff throughout this perilous incident was extremely impressive. They managed 6 different radio talk groups, transmissions from approximately 70 field responders on 30 pieces of apparatus. Their ability to coordinate and control the enormous amount of radio transmissions and telephone calls related to this incident, along with the everyday 911 calls, was extraordinary. The recipients of this award, if they would please come to the stage at this time, include Tina Bowers, William King, Joe Arch, Mason White, Beth Carpegna, Andrew Grosh, Shelby Powers Hall, Keith Bowen, Marshall Maravellis, and Angela Latini.
As you can see from this award and the next award, there's a lot of teamwork involved, and as I mentioned in my earlier comments, individuals might be recognized, but it's truly a team effort across the county, and so this is a great example of that teamwork and partnership. Our next award is another Unit Achievement Award. This is for incident number 1609281 on April 28, 2016. Our recipients for this award are Trooper Chris Michaels, Maryland State Police Paramedic, Paramedic Priscilla Morgan, Clear Spring Ambulance Club, EMT Warren Miller, Clear Spring Ambulance Club, Paramedic Kelly Smith, Washington County Emergency Services, and Richard Smith, HCC Paramedic Student. On April 28, 2016, units from the Clear Spring Ambulance Club and Washington County Emergency Services were dispatched for a 1-year-old choking patient. Off-duty Maryland State Trooper Paramedic Chris Michaels was en route to work at Trooper 5 when he heard the call. He was the first to arrive on the scene and found the infant choking on a hot dog. He attempted to clear the airway with basic life support maneuvers and continued to assist with patient care during the transport. Clear Spring Paramedic 492, staffed by EMT Warren Miller and Paramedic Priscilla Morgan, arrived 1 minute after Trooper Michaels, and advanced life support care was initiated. Providers attempted to visualize the obstruction via direct laryngoscopy, and some of the obstruction was removed using Miguel forceps. However, the airway remained obstructed. Bag valve mask ventilation were continued, and transport was initiated to Meritus Medical Center. During transport, the unit joined forces with EMS 1811, staffed by Paramedic Kelly Smith and Paramedic student Richard Smith. The patient remained unresponsive with poor air exchange. Aggressive advanced life support care was continued, and chest compressions were begun as the patient became bradycardic. And I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. Someone help me so I learned. Did I pronounce it right? Bradycardic. Thank you. Bradycardic. Whoever's doing a video, edit all that out, okay? After arriving at Meritus Medical Center, the patient was stabilized and transferred to Children's National Medical Center and remained an inpatient for 5 days. When discharged on the 5th day, the child had no deficits. The quick, aggressive, and appropriate treatment in the field delivered a viable patient to the local emergency department and played an integral role in the patient's survival. The crews were able to meet the child at the annual Clear Spring Ambulance Club banquet. Please help me welcome up here Trooper Chris Michaels, Paramedic Priscilla Morgan, EMT Warren Miller, Paramedic Kelly Smith, and Richard Smith, paramedic student. Congratulations.
Our next award is the Volunteer Achievement Award for Fire and Rescue, awarded to EMT Melvin Smith, a Community Rescue Service. Melvin Smith has been an active volunteer with Community Rescue Service for almost 20 years. In this time, he has served in numerous positions, including 2 terms as volunteer liaison to the Board of Directors, a member of the Interview Committee, an ambassador to new volunteers, and in his current role as chaplain. He also volunteers his time in the administrative office several days a week, working on projects and fundraising campaigns, in addition to remaining active in the field, covering numerous EMT standbys and proudly representing the first responder community at public education events. Mr. Smith also serves as a volunteer in these positions with Smithsburg Emergency Medical Services. He goes above and beyond in his roles for the citizens of Washington County. Mr. Smith has been and remains an absolute asset to everyone he has served as a volunteer EMT. Always positive and willing to help with any task asked of him, he is truly an example for all to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, our recipient for the Community Service Volunteer Service Award, Melvin Smith.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, but you know, everybody that knows me, I'm long-winded, but I'm going to spare you today. I thank you for this award and appreciate the one that put me in for it. And I've really enjoyed my time as the EMTB, and like I say, I'm probably the oldest one in the whole thing. I'll be 76 in a couple of days, so I'm the oldest one.
He just looked like he had something to say, so. Our next award is a Volunteer Achievement Award for Law Enforcement, and this recipient is DFC Carly Hose. DFC Carly Hose has been serving as the Washington County Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer since 2012 and continues to improve their relationship with local media outlets by providing them a designated and reliable point of contact. As the primary media liaison, DFC Hose often works off-duty to prepare press releases and respond to incidents where media personnel are expected on the scene. DFC Hose has assumed a leadership role among all of her counterparts in county media relations. Working closely with the Public Information Office, they often rely on her expertise when developing media plans regarding public safety. She also provides guidance and assistance with the media relations needs of the Washington County Emergency Services Office during weather emergencies and related events. As proof of her level of competence, DFC Hose was nominated and has been accepted into the FEMA Master Public Information Program. She's one of only 37 candidates selected from hundreds of applications nationwide. DFC Hose also serves as a crime prevention officer and internship manager. During 2016, she delivered more than 300 crime-related presentations, which were given to civic groups and other community organizations. Her presentation topics included personal safety, home security, fraud, and scams. Also included identity theft, elder abuse, bicycle and traffic safety, internet safety, and drug education. She also assisted in providing active threat response training, utilizing the ALICE and the CRAS curriculums. She also attends the regular meetings of many active neighborhood watch groups throughout the county. In addition, she also volunteers for the Shop with the Sheriff program. DFC Hose works tirelessly to raise funds, locate sponsors, and manage the child selection process. Through steadfast determination, she was able to raise over $4,100, making it possible to service 12 children. DFC Carly Hose is truly a valuable asset to the Sheriff's Department and to the Washington County community as a whole. She works various hours and is subject to 24/7 call-out without complaint. She alters her schedule to accommodate her assigned responsibilities and is meticulous to detail. She strives for perfection in all she does and represents her agency in a highly professional and thoughtful manner. Please help me welcome and congratulate DFC Carly Hose.
Association to receive the State Deputy of the Year Award for crime prevention at the Ocean City Convention this year in September. So, congratulations.
Next up is the Telecommunications Award. This year's recipient is Emergency Communications Specialist Andrew Andy Grosh. Andrew Andy Grosh began his career with the Hagerstown Police Department as a police communications operator in October 1997. In 2009, the Washington County Fire and Rescue Communications, Hagerstown Police Department Communications, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office Communications Departments completed a consolidation of 3 separate dispatch centers into a single primary emergency communications center. At that time, Mr. Grosh became employed as an Emergency Communications Specialist, ECS, with the Washington County Emergency Communications Center, which is located on Elliott Parkway in Williamsport. For the last 8 years, ECS Grosh has worked as both a 911 call taker and a police dispatcher. On August 16, 2016, ECS Grosh was working as a 911 call taker when he took a call from a cell phone where the person on the phone was not talking and would not answer questions. Shortly after the call was disconnected by the caller. At this point, ECS Grosh called the number back, and although the return call was answered, no one was speaking. After 38 seconds, a female caller began asking for help. While the caller could not remember her address and name when asked, Grosh was able to obtain from the caller that she had been assaulted and knocked unconscious by a person that she believed that she had previously obtained a protection order against. After an additional 3 minutes of patient questioning, the caller was able to provide her location. While units were en route to the caller's residence, ECS Grosh stayed on the phone with her, constantly updating dispatchers with information as provided. For an additional 5 minutes, the caller was non-communicative. Concerned that her assailant had returned or that she had lost consciousness, ECS Grosh continued to attempt eliciting a response. Much to his relief, she finally answered, indicating that she thought she may have blacked out. Within the next few minutes, law enforcement arrived on the scene with the caller, followed shortly thereafter by EMS. ECS Andrew Grosh demonstrated unwavering empathy, quick thinking, persistence, and a full understanding of the situation, ensuing an overall positive outcome for the victim. Ladies and gentlemen, our Telecommunications Award recipient, ECS Andrew Grosh.
Andy couldn't be here today, so I just want to offer a few words of appreciation on his behalf and really on behalf of all the telecommunicators. It's really an unsung hero job. They're behind a mask. They're never really seen, but they're heard. And there are many calls like this that are deserving of similar award. And from the management staff that work for the Communications Center, it was difficult to find one, but just know that Andy appreciates this, and I think all the telecommunicators in the room would extend their sincere appreciation for consideration of an award like this on any given day. But thank you.
Our next award is a Public Safety Distinguished Service Award for law enforcement, and the awardee is DFC Brian Teets, Washington County Sheriff's Department. Agent Teets was transferred to the Narcotics Task Force on January 1st, 2016, and immediately started contributing by working with other agents to obtain a search warrant for Murphy Avenue on January 19th, recovering heroin from the residents. Agent Teets continued to learn at NTF and then was assigned as the overdose investigator on September 13th, 2016. He then had to continue learning the local side of the paperwork at NTF while having the added responsibility of becoming a task force agent funded through the DEA. This new assignment involved learning the federal paperwork as well as the local paperwork, a new responsibility taken on with no complaints. During 2016, Agent Teets opened 57 narcotic investigations, resulting in 12 arrests, 4 search and seizure warrants, and 6 handguns recovered. Always willing to assist patrol when called upon, Teets remains consistently available when needed. He continued to keep his certification as a DRE to assist the road guys whenever needed. In February, he worked an investigation of a child sex prostitution ring. This case involved FBI Harrisburg and resulted in an arrest. After many hours of meetings and transferring evidence, the FBI decided they weren't going to prosecute at the federal level, and Agent Teets had to rush to make a case at the state level instead. Agent Teets investigated a fatal overdose in Williamsport, Maryland, and was able to charge the supplier. On July 7th, Agent Teets assisted HPD CIU with a case involving murder suspects from Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. They were able to stop the vehicle and get enough probable cause to search the vehicle. During the search, several grams of heroin were recovered, resulting in 4 arrests. Agent Teets voluntarily worked a national night out table in Williamsport, Maryland for NTF, helping to get information out to the community about dangerous drugs. He also worked a fatal overdose at Motel 6 and was able to charge 3 people who were involved in the distribution. He was able to get a CI to work in the Cascade, Maryland area. He was able to buy from 3 different people and write a search warrant for a house on the base. His unwavering dedication to his duties and the citizens of Washington County have proven to be critical in the fight against crime. Our Public Safety Distinguished Service Award, Agent Brian Teets.
Our Our next award is the Public Safety Distinguished Service Award for Fire Rescue. Our recipient is Lieutenant Joanna Bingaman of Community Rescue Service. Lieutenant Joanna Bingaman was hired as a full-time paramedic in Washington County on February 3, 2010, and was promoted to Operations Lieutenant in May 2014, a role in which she remains active. Previously, she was a volunteer EMTB in Montgomery County, Maryland, with the Silver Spring Volunteer Fire Department. Joanna completed her BS in Emergency Health Services at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Currently a shift-level lieutenant assigned to training. She serves on the training committee and has played a crucial role in Washington County's recent precepting program's update. She serves as the main contact for precepting, scheduling, volunteers, and career staff. Joanna serves as one of Community Rescue Services' 4 field training supervisors and precepts training candidates in the field. Lieutenant Bingaman reviews and makes recommendations to the County Department of Emergency Services. She meets with DES regularly to review and make recommendations for training and precepting countywide. As a CRS supervisor, she is the first-line officer for 3 stations, supervising 12 to 16 staff at any given time. The role of shift supervisor includes tasks such as running high-priority calls to assist other units, general HR support, scheduling, Q&A, PCR reconciliation, and general staff support. She also is employed part-time through the MFRI as an EMTB instructor, teaching at the county's technical high school, as well as other EMTB courses. A lot of acronyms in there. Lieutenant Bingaman assists other instructors as needed with class and supports teaching. She also recently served on the department's banquet committee and helped arrange several company picnics off-site for several years. Additionally, she demonstrates an annual commitment to helping during Community Rescue Services' breast cancer awareness program by designing and ordering shirts for the staff to wear. She is consistently willing and excited to help with anything asked of her. Joanna is constantly making great suggestions, but also putting in the work to move initiatives forward. She is also the recipient of a Chiefs Award this past year for her dedicated service and hard work. She is, without a doubt, a dedicated and passionate person about EMS and teaching and demonstrating enthusiasm when it comes to helping staff. Ladies and gentlemen, our recipient of the Public Safety Distinguished Service Award, Lieutenant Joanna Bingaman.
I'd like to thank my leadership for the nomination and thank you all for the honor of receiving this award.
The final award being given this morning is a Lifetime Achievement Award, and the recipient is Captain Blaine Snyder, 1st Hagerstown Hose Company. Blaine Snyder first joined the 1st Hagerstown Hose Company on December 1st, 1952. Since that day, nearly 65 years ago, he has consistently engaged in activities that, in any review, would stand out as exemplary. Time-tested efforts that have left an unparalleled legacy to the 1st Hagerstown Hose Company, the Hagerstown Fire Department, and the Washington County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Services. Among his many accomplishments, Blaine served for over 45 years as an active and responding firefighter and company-level officer. He has served in every line officer position in a company, providing leadership to countless members who have served and continue to serve the hose company. Since retiring from active firefighting duties, Blaine remains fully engaged in efforts to mentor others and lead by example. The list of Blaine's accomplishments are simply too long to enumerate. However, many stand out. Retired Captain Snyder was involved in every vehicle purchase and rehab since his swearing in. He is particularly proud of the flying boxcar, Peter Persh, the complete restoration of the 1946 Aaron's Fox pumper, and the preservation of a wide variety of portable equipment necessary to get the job done in the good old days. He served as the co-chair in creation of the current 911 system we now know as a public safety access point. His devotion to the Children's Village Safety Campus is well known. Additionally, Blaine led the way in volunteerism by developing a Boy Scouts of America Explorer post at Engine 1 that inspired many to pursue a service career in fire rescue. Blaine served as president of the Washington County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association for 3 non-consecutive terms. Never one to be behind the times, he also served as president of the Region 2 Washington and Frederick Counties, Maryland Institute for Emergency Medical Services, EMS, Council for 2 terms. Finally, the Hagerstown Museum of Firefighting History, co-located beside Engine 1's quarters in downtown Hagerstown, is one of the crown jewels of local firefighting history. With the able assistance of several others, Blaine has assured that the storied history of firefighting in Hagerstown and Washington County lives on for generations to come. Today, Blaine Snyder continues to serve in a variety of administrative capacities for the First Hagerstown Hose Company. In his 65th year of active service, it is safe to say that nothing occurs in a company without his input and guidance. Few can match the many efforts of this man for such a sustained period of time. Lifetime Achievement Award, please help me welcome and congratulate Captain Blaine M. Snyder.
Chief, too. 65 years ago, when I started, excuse me, I thought this was fun. I knew this was going to happen, too. No, I thought it would be cool. And for a while, it was. The more you got into the schooling, which MIFRE, Maryland Fire Rescue Institute, and MIMS provides for us in this state, a fantastic system. It really went on, and I've had a real adventure in this. I would like to thank my dear wife and family that put up with all this stuff, and also my company too. And thank you very much. I think I better stop.
We'd like to ask Chief Steve Lohr and Dave Mace to please come to the podium at this time. Hayes, sorry.
So I'm told that I'm a time filler this morning. I came unprepared for remarks, and I forgot my rubber chicken. But we'll start there. The first thing I would like to do is to thank the Chamber and to thank the business community for stepping out on this journey of recognizing all of our public safety providers. You know, it does take a village. I tell our folks, I've always told our folks, you know, when you work in public safety, you have to come to work with your game face on. There is no room for complacency. There's no room to second guess or get do-overs. It's just not available. So the one thing that we have in common with every single award winner this morning, I think, is they had their game face on. And they did great work for the citizens of Hagerstown and Washington County. And thank all of the award winners for doing that every single day. It's tough work. So, you know, I have to say something about Hagerstown's award winner. I think Blaine's the only one in the room that's over age 40. So for all the rest of us that are under age 40 and look for a role model, I can't think of a better one. A few years back, I was asked to make a presentation in Ocean City at the convention. I went to my classroom. The first guy in the classroom was Blaine Snyder. And that was before I was affiliated here in Hagerstown. So, Blaine, we couldn't enumerate what you've accomplished in 65 years. And I'm so grateful that the Chamber's chosen to create that kind of award for somebody that's just given and given and given in every venue that he had. So congratulations to his family, his wife Sarah, for the woman behind the man over many years, right? I'm certainly hopeful that this grows from here. I will tell you, I was part of a venture in Montgomery County where I came from, where the county executive said, look, we got to get law enforcement and fire rescue together even more than we were pretty good at it, but we weren't as good as we thought we were. So what did he do? Buy a $40 million building and make us live in the same building. I will tell you that from a global perspective, that collaboration did more to advance public safety in Montgomery County, Maryland than any other policy or procedure we could have come up with. And I look forward to working with our law enforcement partners and city, county partners to grow public safety here and even better than what it is today. And we saw many, many examples. So thank you all for attending this morning. Thank you for your support. And we'll see you next year.
So that's going to be a hard act to follow, so I probably won't be quite as long. But most importantly, it's been an honor to serve on the committee, working to try and recognize such great performers in our service. And as Chief Lord had reiterated, or to reiterate what Chief Lord put forth, they came to work with their game face on. And for us, it's nice to stand here with our local elected leaders, the business community that is here to recognize that each and every day when you go to work, when you're living at your home, and all of those things that just happen, and when we flip the light switch on, so to speak, I heard a reference to Allegheny Energy, that the magic or the fairy dust doesn't just fly in Disneyland, right? There's a lot of behind-the-scenes actions and activities that occur 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to make sure that we can live, work, and have fun in this community and know that when you call, that we're ready, and we'll answer the call. And I'm here to tell you today that when you call, we will be ready, and we will answer your call. So with that, the folks that are sitting next to you and spread through the room may not be somebody that you know, but if you haven't already, I'd encourage you to reach over, shake their hand, thank them, and transversely from the responder community for you. Folks that are sitting in this room are part of the reason we can live our dreams. We can be here serving our communities in much the way we wanted to do when we were that 6, 7, 8-year-old little kid running around and a fire truck went down the road. We're all lucky. We're living our dreams, and many of you are, even in your own worlds. But in our world, the special world we call fire EMS and law enforcement, we get up in the morning, and I think I'll quote a quote to a friend of mine, Mr. Brumbelow, says, "I never worked a day in my life." I would echo that. I've been doing this just about my entire adult career. I've been fortunate to go and do what I love, and I never had to work, so to speak. So for that, thanks for coming out this morning. It's very important. And likewise with Chief Lohr, I hope this is the beginning of a larger and greater event that reoccurs each year. But outside of that, be safe, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Dave and Steve. We appreciate your comments and your support. Just before I forget, we'd like to have all recipients, all award recipients, please come up here afterwards so we can get some more pictures. We're finished way ahead of time, which is great, so we have some time for photos. I do want to thank again and recognize Chris Motes, our MC. Thank you, Chris, for your work. As you probably know, Kaplan University has a number of fire and rescue and public safety courses, and they're a big supporter in this area in the community. Also wanted to thank the chamber staff, Tiana, Tim, who's on vacation, Rod, and Donna. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Dave mentioned pixie dust. Donna has a lot of pixie dust. She springs around the office real late at night, so thank you in particular for getting this first event together. We've talked about this for 2 years, and the timing just never quite worked out. So we're just thrilled we finally worked together in partnership to have this come to fruition. And as many of you know, and I'll reinforce, the Chamber's mission is to foster and maintain a thriving business climate in which our members and community can grow and prosper. Well, as you know, you can't have a thriving private sector community of any type without having a safe community. And you can't have a safe community with a great quality of life without having the fire and rescue personnel, the law enforcement personnel, the emergency responder personnel, and the folks who answer the dispatching emergency calls every day. And we are fortunate to have those people right here in Washington County. And in my position, I've been fortunate and blessed to meet many of these folks who are professionals. They're great partners to have. So on behalf of the business community, on behalf of the Chamber, a sincere thank you to all of the public safety representatives throughout Washington County that help to ensure what we have in a safe and thriving community. We appreciate all you do on our behalf. This ends the program. Have a safe rest of the day, and please drive safely, especially in the parking lot. There's a number of law enforcement officers out here. So you in the business community, drive especially safe. Do have a safe rest of the day, and thank you for your work here this morning. Congratulations.